we've got our first match. It is going to be Mr. Pierre Zaman, new to the store. Zaman? Not sure exactly
Zaman?
what enunciation is most appropriate there. Good to have him back, though. We didn't know if he was going to make it down since he's from out of town, but we're always happy to have an out-of-towner back in here, especially for this event.
Yes.
And then we've got the champion from last time, Mr. Matt Weiss.
Yeah. We got a Restore Balance deck Matt is playing. So we're expecting to see a lot of border posts being and lands being returned to the hand here.
Yeah.
In order to cast these cascade spells to hit a balance.
So it's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how it shakes out here.
And on the other side, this Affinity list has the traditional 8 drum right now. Ramping into Ursa, but does not play the... I do not see it on the list of the combo. He is playing a Stoneforge package, though. I do like
is
that.
He? Interesting.
Yeah. He has 4 Stoneforge, complete a spear. I think that's all he's getting.
I mean, hey, suppose it's enough.
So you're really leaning on these thought monitors.
So it looks like he's got an opener of... what is that? Complete already in hand?
That's an Urza. That's a complete...
Yeah, it looks like he's thinking on bottoming one of these things.
One of these Urzas.
Yeah.
Is a Midnight
does he have
land.
a land? No.
No land hand. You can't keep that realistically.
No, one is good enough. Matt's working
with has a land
exactly.
and border post, and he's doing everything he wants to do.
Yeah, he's got exactly the hand. That's one thing that would be nice about that deck. You just have simple it is to look at a hand and be like, "Yep, that's it." I don't have the card with suspend, and I have border posts, and I have his cascader. Yep. That's it. That's all you need.
And he's playing every 3-mana cascader. It looks like. Yeah, Ardent Pleas in here, Violent Outburst, Shardless Agent. He's only playing 2 Ardent Pleas. He also has an As Foretold in the main.
Yeah. We've seen it. Actually, we haven't seen it do a lot. Usually it's either games won or lost by the time we've seen it uncovered so far.
He jammed a Nahiri and an Emrakul in this deck.
I like a Nahiri. That's cool.
Like, that's always... I love to see that.
Alright, so Pierre's looking at a better hand. Looking deciding what to bottom here. He's got Springleaf. He's got Stoneforge. He's got 1 land. So it's definitely not super explosive, but it's safe.
What do you want to see is a couple of those 0 drops, the Springleaf Drum or the Moonsnare prototype.
Right. Strip down out of this.
Now the advantage of Moonsnare is you can tap any artifact with it, but you only get colorless.
Yep. And it has the channel ability for later in the game to actually interact with something on the board, which
comes up quite often, surprisingly.
Sure. Anything that's modal, man, I'm behind. I'm a fan of any modal card in general.
Well, it gives you just so much variety later in the game. It starts with the Springleaf Trio.
No 0 drop. What Matt's gonna do? What a surprise!
Border post. And land goes back to hand.
First 3 turns are just not exciting.
We gotta have to read those border posts, not a commander player.
Matt was so mad that New Capenna didn't give him the other border posts.
That's a weird place to...
Well, it's arguable. It could work. It doesn't make sense because it's an ally color set, not enemy colors, and that's what they're printing.
Yeah.
But you could have made it lamppost to border the game's territory. Like, it could have worked.
Lamppost out? Okay, I got you.
Could have
2 drums.
Because I can't imagine where others set they're going to do it, you know.
We got another border post? Yep.
It's clockwork here. Now, if Pierre had the right hand, he could have already murdered Matt, or be ready to murder Matt, but...
Well, those are the 0 drops into either Urza or Sagas.
Yeah.
Being able to play that turn 1 Saga with a Ornithopter and Drum out so you can still activate turn 2.
For sure.
For the construct is really big play.
Yeah, let me see his list. He's got a little bit more. See, that's where I'm probably not a huge fan of the Stoneforge thing, just because it takes those other...
Well, I would just like to...
out of it.
I would have liked to see the combo be in there since you're playing the Ursas.
Right.
Like, even a 1 or 2 of. Just for the option for the infinite out.
Right.
Would be nice to see. I'm always a huge fan of Tezzeret Agent of Bolus.
Oh yeah, always.
Playing these border posts anyways, might as well kill him with him.
Yeah. All right. So Matt's deciding if he wants to cascade or not. So
he can still bounce the land, then cascade here.
Can he? No, not quite. But he's going to go ahead and do this, which I do like quite a bit. Because when he does restore balance, it's one less creature to be able to tap for mana.
There's an aspect of the border post I actually hadn't thought about until just then. You can pitch them to the pitch elementals.
Yeah, they're powerful that way. It's such a unique card design. That's why it would have been nice to see him in New Capenna, because the cycle, I really do think, needs finished, just for the sake of fringe decks.
Well, not even fringe decks. I think it's just a good value system.
You can even search, and you have both of your things.
We know he has the complete.
He's got one more.
So you can go get the spear here.
Yep.
You can just run it out if you... Oh, Nettle Cyst.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he's got 3 of those. He's got plenty of targets. That's why he's running the Stoneforge package.
Okay, I still don't care for it too much. That's still non-artifact. He's running 3
Yeah,
cysts.
I think I would definitely say the deck can draw... I feel like those should just be thought casts.
He does have the 4 thought cast for...
If he does already? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, just make those more artifacts.
Well, I think just making a little bit closer to the
last
combo.
Last time he was here, the deck performed pretty well, so...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these blue-white affinity decks are just so versatile. Is this another post?
Yep.
It is.
Posting it up. Yeah, now here it goes.
Here. And we're going to Ardent Plea, Cascade Trigger on this deck. And another card he has to read. Which is fair. Like,
yeah, that one's interesting.
Well, that wasn't too far for a Cascade. That was nice.
It only takes forever. Alright.
Let me shuffle these 2 Violent Outbursts and put them on bottom in a random order. Now, I do think Matt has to discard, if I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah, he will.
Well, no, the Pinch Elemental might have taken him down low enough. Four cards.
No, the unfortunate thing is he needs a way to actually kill Pierre now. He has done
that comes later. He's going to remove all his land and his creature.
Yeah, this deck would be so powerful if that border post cycle was finished. It'd be huge. It'd make the deck have a huge resurgence. Because then it'd allow you to play all the pitch elementals, or the right kind, the right numbers, without any issue, to where you could
be drawing land. Yeah, I understand the border post problem. We did get an Urza Saga though here.
That's good.
So it's something. In 2 turns, he'll go get a Ornithopter.
Probably. That would be the best get here.
Gives you colored mana again. That's an Urza, a Nettle Cyst, and a Culture Complete. And Matt knows 2 of those cards. Because of the Stoneforge, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's unfortunate. If Pierre's opener was more aggressive, you'd have been able to get a lot more in. Is that Patrick Priest?
How's it going?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's like I can't remember how to. I think it's just like Bluetooth, but it's
connected.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it's up top.
That's Valakut's Awakening.
Nice.
Not a card we see a lot, but it's exactly what you want to do in this deck. You have too many border posts.
Pierre
Let's
is still
shuffle some back.
unfortunately stuck.
Well, it's kind of the plan of Restore Balance here is to let them be
there's
stuck.
one condition. Can he cast it?
Which one?
The Fury. Just hard casting the Fury.
Oh, we do have a Greater Gargadon suspended.
That'll get there. I think he might... Yeah, he'll be able to cast the Fury next turn, so...
Yeah, that'll be something we can do.
With an Exalted trigger also.
That's very quick. He's floating the mana from... Where's the Saga? I think we're gonna see one of the 0-drop coming out
for sure. 0-drop come down, be able to tap it for mana, spend the mana. I don't know if it's going to be enough to really make anything happen.
I think this is the deck check for Pierre to see what his outs are here.
Yeah. Now, if he drew a land here, he has some kind of action, but I don't. It depends on. It really hinges on him having drawn a land.
I don't think he
did. He did not. So I don't think he has any. Okay.
Oh, we got a Sentinel.
Sentinel. That's good.
That's a dude.
Not nothing.
But we also know Matt has a Violent Outburst in hand.
He's so close to that Thought Monitor, but not close
4.
enough.
It costs 7, right?
Yeah. So it's reduced by 4. He has 2 mana available.
Son of the Lamb.
Not quite. He's 1 off.
This is gonna be a grinder like this, and it's actually quite impressive how much these decks actually seem to be able to grind.
Oh yeah, Affinity, thanks to Thought Monitor, man, it's really just it can grind its ass off now. It's ridiculous.
I won a game with Affinity. I'm not running the Stoneforge or Ursa's, more aggressive, but he turned 1 Force of Vigor, my Ursa Saga, and 0-drop. Turn 2 Force of Vigor, my Ursa Saga, and there's another 0-drop.
Oh yeah. So this is.
And I still managed to come back.
That's pretty damning. Pierre had a chance there to come back a little bit.
We knew he had the Fury in hand. He could just hard cast it to take out both his creatures. He's going to float the mana like correct.
It has nothing to do with it, but it is the correct thing to do.
Technically correct floating is always good.
All right.
And we're done.
So now it's going to be, and I'm sure that Pierre was well aware that it was going to hinge on sideboard here.
So what do we have to bring in against this? Teferi Time Raveler stops the Cascade Disputes.
That's huge.
I don't think Rip Apart or Portable Holes are...
Rip Apart, if he has nothing else, Rip Apart's something.
Yeah.
Mystical Dispute could be something. Yeah,
he's bringing Skydivers in the side, but trying to steal a border post with those seems like a big, big catch against balance.
He went with 3 Mystical Disputes and 2 Teferis, and I don't hate that. The disputes definitely have some relevance. It's limited, but it still is relevant. Countering, getting a border post with that counterspell would feel pretty fucking good.
So on the other side, I think we bring in our own Teferis. We have gear per Aether Grid on the border post here.
Yeah, so
that seems good.
He's looking at Mystical Disputes himself and Ingot Chewers, assuming. Well,
oh yeah, you're obviously bringing the Chewers here.
Yeah, that's huge.
But I don't think that Karn can't come in.
No. All right, so what are the 6 cuts? This is going to be the hard thing in this deck because you kind of need.
We have so many ones.
So Nahiri, that's an easy cut. It's not like it's the worst because
if Nahiri comes out, your Emrakul comes out.
Tezzeret's probably too slow.
Yeah, it's a little cute.
So that's 3 cards.
Yeah, he went back for that.
Yeah. Prismar is pretty good. Fire Ice could be a cut for some of the things you're trying to bring in.
Fire's
pretty good in this match. It is.
Like
hard cuts, man. He's got 3 easy cuts. Maybe instead of worrying about the counter spells, he just brings in those, just the Ingot Chewers. That probably makes a good amount of sense. Pierre's probably trimmed a little bit, maybe cutting out some of his top end. That would make sense.
Yeah, I think this is a gotta-go kind of matchup.
Urza probably makes sense to trim. Like, it's a little slow. He's going to keep it in, I think.
It's hard to cut something like Urza on power level, but...
Spell that doesn't really do much.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those.
I guess the Gargadon, bouncing the Gargadon is relevant. It's still kind of meh.
If he has a Gargadon at that point, he's probably already balanced.
Honestly, probably just
fairly far behind.
I'd probably just trim the Stoneforges, man.
Take Stoneforges complete out.
Stoneforges and Cauldron, that's perfect, yeah. He's bringing in 5 cards. I think that's way more relevant.
Oh, you can't cut the monitors. That's how you keep the game going, man.
No. Yeah.
Maybe he's worried about not being able to get to
that mana. Yeah, that's probably fair.
That
but you're still
Affinity.
more likely to get to that mana than to get to Urza mana in this matchup.
That's
like
fair statement there. I also think after a balance where nobody has cards in hand, that's one of the best top decks.
I don't hate what he did. He just trimmed it. Looks like there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
All right, see what kind of hands we can get here.
I actually might have thought about just trimming on your drum effects. Take a couple moon snares out.
I think he did trim one of the moon snares.
Well, actually, moon snare might be one you want to keep, and you might want to take out a couple drums.
Well, he is color hungry though. More color hungry than his decks normally are.
Yeah, because he's playing the Stoneforge and the Urzas.
And the Esper Sentinels.
Yep. So that might be a consideration. I'm wondering if Matt's deck can actually beat the turn 2 Urza on a good draw. See, that'd be the one I'd like to see, but...
I mean, maybe.
I think Matt is actually favored here. On the play, at least.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I mean, that's the thing. Matt's always turn 3.
Yeah.
Always turn 3. Is that going to happen?
Well, he has 7 different ways in the deck to... Nope. Yeah. 11 with Shardless Agent.
Yeah. Yeah, that being printed was a big deal for every Cascade deck ever.
Yes.
That was a huge thing. Those decks were kind of just fringy for a little bit, and that really just cemented them as just...
Also, the Blood Moon out of Matt could be really just devastating for the Affinity player after a balance.
Did he bring a Blood Moon in?
No, he has 2 in the main.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
In the main, even.
Well, doesn't matter if all your mana is coming from border post.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. I don't know why I never realized he had that in his main.
Yeah. I really like that deck list. Matt always puts together something unique, but something that does powerful things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dustin talked a lot about how Restore Balance is just never anywhere. You never see it represented, and it's a solid deck.
It's a solid card, solid deck. It
has its weaknesses. There are its kryptonites like Little Teferi and such.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that has been people have shown on stream before, that the error of just getting Teferi down for value, because Matt can actually interact with that. And if you just get down Teferi and plus, you can't interact with that.
Yeah.
So a Little Teferi, I think, out of Pierre's hand. Yep. And good mana.
But no early acceleration. That's one of the things. And we
Matt's got...
I think Matt's
probably
chipping.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit too clunky. It's definitely a good keep for Pierre, but he doesn't have the speed, but it shouldn't... The speed on the play would be huge, but it's a really solid hand anyway, so I think he's in pretty good shape.
I don't know. I think I might have mulliganed it. Yeah, you have 8 drums, 8 0 drops.
Right.
Finding a hand with 2 of those in it isn't going to be too hard.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, though, he's got a good start. He's going to draw extra cards because of the Sentinel. He's going to get Sentinel down turn 1. Matt's going to let him draw cards off that, so he can still find him.
The border post wording, does it have to be return a land to your hand?
A basic, yeah. But it's still casting the spell.
But you can float that 1 mana and pay for it, right?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have to pay too much off it for Espers.
Well, if he should be able to get 1 draw off of it at least, because if he leads with the Sentinel, Matt's not going to be able to... Because you have to pay 1 and bounce a land.
Okay.
You don't just bounce a land.
Yeah. All right. It's the pay one I always forget about.
Yeah. Otherwise, those things would be pretty fucking silly. All right, so Esper Sentinel coming down. And I don't hate being patient, because like you said, with 8 drum effects, he's going to draw 1 too, so he'll get there.
Prismatic card that we don't see as much as a lot of people expected us to.
Vista?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it still takes a specific mana base. It's important that it was printed. I really like the card, but it doesn't just go everywhere. What's up, Randy? Randy Coddle in the chat.
How's it going? I when that got printed, like everybody was like, "Yeah, well, it's gonna be in almost every deck," and it just hasn't come together like that because you need
mana bases are too hungry,
especially with this last set of triumphs being printed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, oh, okay.
Suspend the Gargadon.
We can go ahead and get that out of the way. Not let Pierre draw any extra cards. Do the border post stuff next turn.
Yeah, see.
He'll still probably draw a card unless he has another basic. Yeah, that thing's gonna draw Pierre.
Saga's such a huge card here, no matter how you look at it.
It's gonna give him some speed for sure. That he definitely needed. The biggest thing is getting this Teferi down on time. Another Sentinel. That's pretty good.
See, I think that the second Sentinel's I'm starting to see the value of.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna draw a lot of cards here because Matt does not. Matt would have to play a basic to be able to stop him from drawing one card, and you don't really want to have basics at all.
He has a Boseiju here, so he can at least stop one of the card draws.
He can go ahead and pitch one of these border posts if need be, which he's going to keep him. I think you need the border post because then you can Violent Outburst next turn, and he's going to discard the cards anyways. Should be good anyhow. They're rewinding, checking things out. Okay.
I think he missed a follow line on where that was.
All right. So
I don't know if I'd run out that Saga when you know there's probably a.
You're gonna get balanced.
Yeah. Does he have a Mystical in hand or a?
He has a Teferi in hand, but he can't make the colors to cast the Teferi, which is fucking awful. That sucks because that's the clutch thing here, and he just can't do it. You just can't get it.
Yes, Thought Monitor. What is that? That first card's Teferi.
Yeah. You warn people about hats.
As you're sitting with a hat.
Well, on stream, you're like, come on, man. Front build facing only. Front facing build only. Stoneforge is what he's hanging on to.
Another Esper Sentinel.
Well, he's going to draw some cards to replace all of his shit. And that'll help. That will help.
Well, it doesn't really help against the balance because you're going to pitch most of those cards anyways.
Actually, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, duh. Well, hey, it's selection, man. You're going to be able to get what you want, I guess.
It's valued nonetheless. But he is priced into this Violent Outburst.
Yeah. Just do it.
Can't forget that.
Do it. He's vulnerable. Can't even make a construct.
I'm not going to pay.
Yeah, you're drawing a bunch of cards. You can draw 2 more cards.
No, it's only once per turn.
I don't know why I always forget that. I always forget that it's only first. That would be fucking nuts if it weren't really.
Oh, it would be.
That would be
too good.
Nuts, yeah.
It's already pretty good.
Yeah, it's good for sure. There it is.
There's the Restore Balance.
I think Matt's only got 3 cards left in hand, maybe. You can sack that, so he's got no lands. And this is why we told Matt to play this deck. He asked us last night, like, what do you guys think I should play? Me and Dustin are like,
Balance. It's a very powerful card.
It can get hated on, but Matt knows how to work around that hate, you know. And if your shit doesn't line up, I mean, Pierre's sitting here with a Teferi in hand and can't cast it. So,
well,
right. Matt has how many cards? 4 cards in hand, so Pierre's discarding down
everything he drew in the last 2 turns.
Yeah. So what is he going to choose to discard? Thought Monitor. He's going to hang on to Thoughtcast.
Thoughtcast.
He does have.
I think you have to hold on to that spell bomb.
Yeah, with the Gargadon coming at you.
I think you keep your cheaper spells in interaction.
Yeah.
I think Teferi's moot point at this point.
At this point, yeah, it's going to be so hard to get that mana turned on. And it's already happened. But it does hate on the Gargadon too, though. So.
We don't have Springleaf Drill.
And he draws an Ornithopter.
Does Matt have 5 cards in hand, or?
Yeah, 4.
He discarded to 5. Hold up.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna go check it.
Yeah.
Hold on, we want to check something with you. Alright, we're gonna check this card count here. Make sure everything's on the up and up. It's hard for us to catch. There's definitely things that we miscalculate up here. Alright, guess I got it figured out. Rewound a little bit, see where this goes. Did they miss it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's just we're gonna have him discard another card. And after we discard another card here, and he got rid of the spell bomb, it looks like we're gonna continue with the turn.
On the top here. No, go for it, man. Micah Hume in the booth.
So, after that little mishap there, kind of hard to sometimes keep track of all the little things that happen in these restore balances match, but
for sure. Alright, so he's got an Ornithopter, he's got Saga, which is gonna come off as just, yeah. There's a Saga in the restore balance match, it's kind of frustrating. Well, because you're already putting down lands, and then
you're
thanks to the Springleaf, it helps, but it's definitely still, you want to land and the Springleaf. That's what you want.
Yeah, that's. Oof. He's gonna bounce him away again. Oh, that's so rough here.
It's gross. It's super gross. Yeah, that was a definite. I think the hand that Pierre kept was a good hand. He just did not see the right.
He has 4-4 this time,
hands,
so
man.
No discarding of cards, but
that's still huge. That's still
there's land
huge.
Afterwards. What do you have? A Shardless Agent enters, yeah.
Resolves, yep. You're gonna sack it to Gargadon.
Sack everything to Gargadon and just.
Holy shit!
Well, we're just going to town.
Matt is just not fucking around. I got you on 2 turns.
Does gain haste.
Yep. After Shardless resolved, sacked it all to Gargadon, comes out of exile.
Now we gotta read Gargadon.
Gargadon's a funky card, for sure.
I'm disappointed in how.
Alright, that was that. So
that's why I was so surprised at the pitch there, even if it was after the correction of pitching that spell bomb.
Yeah.
That's one of your only ways to answer that.
The thing that sucks is he was still fucked on color, though.
Yeah.
He was still fucked on color. This was a good example.
Occasionally you just have to top deck.
The other edge of Urza's Saga is it's colorless. It puts you down a land. Like, it can not work out sometimes. Because if he would have been able to jam that to Fairy turn 3,
yeah,
Matt would have had, and plus it, Matt would have had nothing to say.
Yeah.
He got boned because he drew 2 Urza Sagas. That was as simple as that. Like, the hand, I think, was a solid keep. He could have got there. His mana just fucked him over.
No, this is one of the surprising things that I anticipate to see as we move forward is the new counter spell.
Right.
The counter non-creature spell, its controller makes 2 treasures.
Right.
I think it still has to be one of the best late game answers.
Late game, yeah. I mean, it'd be good for combo stuff. I'm not sure exactly how that card's going to shake out. I'm not sure exactly how I want to assess that until it actually sees some play.
Yeah, it's one of the things I was interested in testing on.
Every 1 mana counter spell has a place most of the time, but it's definitely funky.
I think it's better than Swan Song, but
yeah, Well, Swan Song hits one more thing, doesn't it? It hits 3 things, right?
The
There's a new thing.
Hits non-creatures.
Non-creatures. Okay, so I guess it hits more than Swan Song.
Yeah,
so.
and doesn't give them a creature.
Yeah, it's probably better than Swan Song, for sure.
I'm double checking what Swan Song hits.
I'm not sure, though, how that's going to shake out. I mean, people are going to try to do some cute stuff with it. I think it's going to be good for specific decks. I could see it being good for Storm, other combo, stuff like that.
Counter enchantment, instant, or sorcery. So it doesn't counter planeswalkers?
Yeah, no, it's definitely better than Swan Song. It's definitely better than Swan Song. Which, who the hell plays Swan Song?
It's $10 for some reason.
I guess
someone plays it somewhere.
You know, it's one more one-mana thing. But
yeah, I guess a 2/2 doesn't matter too much in Commander.
No, it shouldn't. And, I mean, depending on the deck construction, a 2/2 might not matter just in general, so it just depends. But, yeah, I don't know. The card it definitely has a bit of power, but I don't know. I'm not sure yet what we're gonna see that card do. I think it just might become a classic sideboard card and just be there. I don't know if it's going to be any kind of a main board thing.
Well, I don't think the sideboard options we have right now for blue counter spells are impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure.
We got the Mystical Disputes. There's a lot of the blue-black decks playing Drown in the Loch, which is...
Well, shit, people should just be playing Drown in the Loch in the main, I say.
I agree with that. That card's ridiculous.
It's always good. This is Modern we're talking about. Everybody gets their graveyard to like 8 cards plus in a few turns, you know? Like
the Nationals Flooded Strand he's showing off there.
Everybody got to show off their fancy toys.
Yeah.
That's one thing that cracks me up about Magic is, you know, there are a lot of people who be like, oh, you know, you're pimping out your deck. Like, that's so silly. Like, guys that are outside of card games. It's like, bro, you just bought $3,000 rims for your car, or you bought a $600 pair of shoes that you're not even going to wear, you know? Like,
and you got other people like, yeah, I just bought a workshop.
Yeah. Yeah. At least with these things, you can use them every day if you want.
Yeah. Well, you use the rims technically, but...
yeah, but...
Again,
they can get fucked
full
over
extended
easy.
Art basic versus
right.
Origins regular basic.
So that was that. We're gonna go see where the room's at, and be back in a few. Stay tuned.